Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Cohen. Today I'm going to talk to you about strategies for the prose fiction passage on ACT reading. The prose fiction passage is the first passage on the ACT reading section. In a lot of respects, the prose fiction passage is more difficult than the other three passages. This is because, number one, it doesn't tell you what it's about or what's going on. You're just thrown into the middle of a story with no background information. It's tough to make sense of what's happening. And then number two, the questions. There's a lot of questions asking about specific details that you have to go back to the passage to find, and they don't really provide line numbers to help you find them. So here are 5 powerful strategies to help you do well on this section. Okay, the first strategy is that the passage is usually always about the relationship between two characters. So knowing this, what you want to do is ask yourself as you read the passage, who are the main characters? Who are the two main characters? And then how do they relate to one another? How are they related? And what type of relationship do they have? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it conflicted? It's both good and bad. Is it changing and evolving? So really figure out, what's the relationship like between the two main characters in the passage. And if you can figure that out, when you get to the questions, a number of the questions are going to ask about what you've just figured out, about what that relationship is like. So you'll be one step ahead and really ready for those questions. The second strategy is that you have to continually reassess what's happening in the story. In the beginning, you'll often have no idea what's happening. The first paragraph, 2, 3 paragraphs, they throw you in the middle of the story without background, so that it's very tough to make sense of. As you go along, you get more information, everything is going to become more clear. But you want to use this new information you're getting as you read the passage to make sense of what's come before. So all you have to do is, as you get more information, every once in a while stop, kind of regroup, reassess, ask yourself, okay, so what was happening in paragraph 1 and 2 now that I know what I know now? So you're constantly stopping and reassessing, basically. Okay, the third strategy is to give yourself more time on this section. Because you have to stop and figure out what's going on, because so many of the questions ask about these really specific details, this prose fiction takes more time, normally. So a good way to do this is give yourself 11 minutes for prose fiction and 8 minutes for each of the following 3 sections. So strategy 4 is to map the passage. This is because those questions about specific details are really tough to answer if you don't know where to look in the passage to find the details. So as you read, look for major shifts in the passage. The passage is talking about one thing, then it seems to talk about something else. You want to note that the passage has shifted onto somewhat of a different topic. And an easy way to do this is to draw a line right across the division. So when you finish the passage, you'll have 2, 3, maybe 4 sections that you've split the passage into. And you can also annotate, make notes. This section is about John, this about Mary. Short notes like that help you make sense of the divisions. Then when you get to the questions and you need to remember, where do they talk about this thing, it'll be a lot easier to do that. The final strategy is to note any mention of time in the passage. There's very often a question about time. When did this occur? How old was John when he was writing about this? So anytime there's a mention of time, note it, draw a big asterisk, and it's probably going to come up in one of the questions. If you liked this video, you can subscribe to our channel for more videos like it.